Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to Athens High School for the 2017 Athens Wrestling Club Alumni Night and Hall of Fame induction. Established in 2014 by the Athens Youth Wrestling Club, the Athens Wrestling Hall of Fame is dedicated to recognizing and honoring individuals who have made significant contributions to Athens wrestling since Coach Jerry Wagner started the program in 1962. These individuals inspire our young athletes to achieve greatness of their own through hard work and dedication. It is our goal to continue the great wrestling tradition, community support, and to preserve the legacy of those who have done great things for Athens wrestling. At this time, I'd like to ask Ryan Frame to come up.
All right, hello everybody. Tonight we are here to honor one of my good friends, former classmate, teammate, and undoubtedly the most dominant high school wrestler in Athens wrestling history. Shawn Ange posted a high school career record of 175 wins, 5 losses, took third place as a freshman at state, won Division III state championships in years 1993, 94, and 95, at weights 160, 189, and 189 respectively. He was voted most outstanding freestyle and Greco wrestler in Fargo, had 139 consecutive wins starting his sophomore year, and went undefeated his junior and senior year in high school. Unknown for his unstoppable headlock, Shawn still holds the WIA high school career pin record with 133 high school career pins. Shawn went on after high school to wrestle for Oklahoma State and later transferred to Minnesota State, where he was a NCAA Division II runner-up in 1999. Shawn currently lives in Boulder, Colorado with his wife Tanya and 2 kids. Another one of our Athens Wrestling Hall of Fame members, Mr. Craig Underwood, contacted me this week. Craig is not able to attend the ceremony today due to a dual meet, but wanted me to read a speech for him in his absence. So this is from Craig. Congratulations, Shawn, on more than well-deserved honor. As a former teammate, has been involved in Wisconsin high school wrestling ever since. I can say that I haven't encountered another athlete that dominated the sport the way that Shawn did in his 4 years of high school. He was intimidating with brute strength and talent. I often wonder about if he ever felt the pressure of everyone in the gym expecting him to get a pin. No matter if he was wrestling a state qualifier from the year before, we all expected Shawn to get 6 points, and he came through every time. On a more personal note, I want to thank Shawn for talking me into the sport some 30 years ago and for being so instrumental to the success of Athens wrestling team in the early to mid-90s. Congrats again. This is from Craig Underwood. And after reading Craig's story, I have a little story to share, my favorite Shawn Ange moment. Dick Sorensen duels, Stevens Point 1995. #1 Athens versus #1 Rapids in the finals. Jeremiah Blake and Greg Ellenbecker just got big wins for us at 152 and 160. So we were winning 23-18 with 3 matches left. Rob Weiler was at 171, Shawn at 189, Nick Empey at heavyweight. Rob Weiler was wrestling one of Rapids' big stud wrestlers at 171. Everyone on the bench and stands was doing the math and figured out that as long as Rob didn't get pinned or get tech-falled, we would win the match since Shawn was at 189, who we all know and expected was going to get the pin. Rob lost that match by just a couple points, so we were ahead by 2 points with 2 matches left, and everyone, including Buddha, was cheering and saying, "We won, we won." Everyone's excited, high-fiving. Gary Beestrom and Buddha were congratulating each other, and I won't forget the expression on Shawn's face. He just looked at everybody, he's like, "People, I got to wrestle yet." And needless to say, Shawn went out there, pinned his guy in 19 seconds, sealed the deal. We won the dual meet. So that's all I got. Next we got up is Shawn's brother Cliff. A few messages for you.
Hello. I'm not very good at this, but they wanted me to touch base on some things. I'd like to congratulate Shawn on a well-deserving award. I just want to say Shawn is well-deserving of this. As you guys all know, I wrestled too, and as I was ending my career, Shawn was just beginning. And And Shawn always looked up to me, which I was very, very proud of. He always says, I want to be like you, Cliff. I want to be like you. I want to be as good as you. I want as many charts and awards as you. And I thought, oh, that's great. I mean, I'm going to take him under my wing and show him what to do and how to do it and how to prepare, how to be dedicated. And he listened to everything I ever said and done. I mean, as a kindergarten on, he started wrestling, and I always made him wear his hand squeezers. As if you guys are wrestling parents and wrestlers out there, hand squeezers, you sit and do this. His nickname was Popeye growing up because he had such big forearms. I made him take them hand squeezers and tie him to his belt loop. So when we walked around during the day or on the couch at night watching TV, he sat there and eat. Used to drive mom and dad nuts. But I'll tell you what, as he got older and when he grabbed his opponent, they stayed grabbed. He always done everything I asked, and I was so proud of him because he always wanted to be as good as me, if not better. As we all know now, he's the one receiving the award. He achieved above my expectations. Some of my fondest memories was down at state tournament when he was a freshman. At that point in age, a freshman making the state was very unbelievable, especially at the weight Shawn was. Shawn was a bigger wrestler, I think 152 pounds as a freshman. Well, he was amongst a great team back then, and the team members I like to call the Fab Four, which was him, Craig Underwood, Mike Sinkowicz, and Jeremy Brunke. Well, they all were like this, four peas in a pod. Well, anyway, they went down there, and three of them made it to the state championship matches, and one didn't. I always never want to blame an official because I'm a wrestling official myself. But Shawn had a very close match with a kid from Riverdale. And he threw him, and actually one of my moves, not his, a Granby roll, and he took the kid to his back. Many of you probably remember it. Took the kid to his back, and the kid came up, wrapped his leg around his head. And anyway, he didn't get points for it, and he lost a very close match. Never want to blame an official, but anyway, Shawn did lose that match. He went on to take third. So as the state finals came on his freshman year, and if you guys all remember, anybody down there for state finals, that is one of the greatest feelings any wrestler could ever achieve in his life, is when they turn down the lights in the field house and you have 14,000 people on their feet standing applauding the champions that walk around that mat. To this day, 30-some years later, and this year I will be down there, when we do that, when I'm there, I will get a tear down my eye because this hair stands up on the back of your neck. I so much wanted Shawn to be there, but he wasn't. So Shawn sat next to me up in the stands that night, and we're all applauding, and Jeremy, Mike, and Craig Underwood were down on that mat. Shawn felt so bad he wasn't there. I felt bad, and I felt happy because I'm reliving the moments I had back when I was in high school. So I had a tear running down my face, both sadness and happiness, which I do every year. And Shawn looked at me. Shawn was on my right, and as I'm watching this, and he's looking at me, and I'm trying to hide the tears running down my face. And he said, "Cliff, look at me." And I kept staring forward, applauding the wrestlers that were walking around the mat. He said, "Look at me." And excuse my language, but he said, "Cliff, goddammit, look at me." And I looked at him, and he took my hand and he squeezed it, and he goes, "Because I promise you with all my heart, I will never let a match get close enough again for a referee to decide it." He said, "I will work so hard, be so dedicated, that I will win every match. It won't even be close." And as Ryan touched on, to this day, he still holds the Wisconsin State pin record for the most dominating wrestler ever. He wrestled 3 state championships and never won a 6-minute match. His junior year, he did go a 6-minute match, but he technically was over in 4 minutes based on time. So anyways, that was a losses are good, losses are good sometimes. So I think that loss to Shawn made him the wrestler he was today because, or then. So losses sometimes do good. I have one more last story to touch on. As Shawn graduated, he was recruited by a number of Division I schools. The head start was Iowa State. So I did my recruiting thing, put a bunch of tape, pictures, and videos together. We drove down to Iowa and we met with Bobby Douglas. And I know a lot of you people don't know him, but you will shortly. So we went down to Iowa and we went out. They took us out for dinner, then we went to Coach Bobby Douglas's house in Iowa. And as I'm sitting at the supper table with Bobby Douglas, I look up on the wall and there's like a 6x6 great big picture. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, I look at Shawn and I'm like, isn't that Dan Gable? And all of a sudden Bobby Douglas was making supper and he goes, yeah, that's right, that's Dan Gable. This is the guy that beat Dan Gable. And I'm sitting at Shawn, I'm like, we're not in Kansas anymore. I said, holy smokes, this is big time. I'm sitting at a table with a guy who beat Dan Gable. So anyways, so I had this video, and he goes, okay, Cliff, he goes, you said you brought a video. He goes, okay, they want to look at it. And he's like, okay, they looked it over. We're really interested in your brother. We want to take him on and stuff and blah, blah, blah. He says, but we're also really interested in this kid from Reno, Worcester, Nevada. And I'm like, yeah, I said, I got that kid. He goes, what do you mean you got him? I said, I got some video on this tape. I said, I got 1 minute and 10 seconds of him. He says, why only 1 minute and 10 seconds of him? I says, that's because that's how long he lasted against my brother when he wrestled him at the Ironman. So Shawn wrestled a guy down at Columbus, Ohio, and Shawn pinned him in 1 minute and 10 seconds. So he was he looked at me with the heads like looked. But anyways, that's all I got. I don't want to burn your ears off. Again, I'd like to congratulate Shawn. We're all deserving, and couldn't be more prouder being an older brother. Thank you.
All right, now the good stuff. Shawn, Ange, for all that you have done for Athens Wrestling, on behalf of the Athens Youth Wrestling Club, it is our pleasure to present you with a plaque for your induction into the Athens Wrestling Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Alrighty, thank you. Such an honor to be here, very humbled, honored to be a part of this great, rich wrestling tradition that we call Athens Blue Jay Wrestling. I can't say enough about what it means to me to be a part of the legacy of Athens Wrestling. It really, truly got me to where I am today, not as an athlete, but as a person, as a father, as a husband, to be amongst of all you people that I see out here right now today. A lot of parents that went through a lot of sacrifice for the kids each and every day, every weekend. My mom, who is not here, first and foremost, I want to thank her every Saturday and Sunday. She got up as a kid, or me as a kid. She got off on third shift working, drove me around all these tournaments all over the state. That's when it started. Then Cliff, thank you. Dad, thank you. My family, thank you. Cliff, every day from kindergarten. I don't think too many kids can say, hey, I attended every single varsity practice from kindergarten through senior year of high school. Well, guess what? This kid did. Sometimes I didn't want to. No denying it. But Cliff's like, hey, you want to be tough? You have goals, you want to do this, you want to do that? You got to put the time in, people, and I believe I put the time in. Was I the best ever? Absolutely not. Did I give it 100%? Absolutely so. And that's all, kids that are out here, any sport you do, as long as you give it 100%, do the best you can do, that's all you can ask for. I mean, if you go in at 50%, you can't second guess yourself, because you, at the end of the day, only know what you did on each and every day, daily basis. I look at the athletes out here. Adam Ellenbecker, the Ellenbecker boys, Greg, Jamie Dellinger, Wayne Seidel, the Marole boys, the Ellenbeckers, the Underwoods. I had so many great people to wrestle with. As a junior high person, not only did I wrestle Cliff, and he kicked the snot out of me till I was a junior year. I think junior year is finally when I was able to take him over. But I wrestled the likes of Jody Garkey, Todd Detail, all these people that I had state champions every single year from when I was a kid all the way up till I graduated. I got to wrestle with. I mean, it was awesome. When you have the best of the best, I mean, the coach, Jerry Wagner, how can I forget him? Definitely not going to forget him. I know he can't be here with us today. Jerry, love you. Hope all is well. It's just something that you never get back, is being a part of this group. I mean, Ryan Frame, him and I were really good friends all through high school. I remember the times that we would sit there and like, okay, it's Wednesday night, we got to wrestle on Thursday, let's head to Medford. So we go to Medford. Okay, what do we do in Medford? Well, we hit the local hotel, we go sit the steam room, swim a little bit, get a little extra exercise in, try to cut some pounds because we just fed our fat bellies, and so, well, as a wrestler, you eat, you got to work out. So that's just the way it is. I mean, it's just great to be here, a part of this, and I want to thank the people before me. Obviously, Buddha, Craig Underwood, Clarence Liss, Pat Switlick. I mean, Pat Switlick really, he put us on the board with that first state championship. And, once you have that and everyone's like, hey, I want to be there. I want to go to there. I want to go to this level. And with us, we had the luxury of having great families, great teammates, great wrestlers, and everyone really, truly, as a team. I mean, I just want to say applaud to all you people out here being the best fans that wrestling, could ever ask for. I mean, it was just amazing. Cliff touched base on this a little bit. He's right. When I lost in my semifinal match my freshman year in high school, it was truly hard because we had some successful teams beforehand. And as I lost a close match, which I'm not going to get into the political portion of what happened in that match, I left it too close. And I remember having my head on the mat as I listened to about 10,000 people cheer that an Athens wrestler lost. And I was thinking to myself, it's not fair. I'm a freshman. I'm in big man's land. I'm wrestling. But it is what it is. I lost the match. I couldn't rely on the ref. And I walked off that match, and I told Buddha the same thing I told Cliff later on that night at the state finals, the Parade of Champions, that I would never let a match get close enough to let a ref decide. So that was one of the things that kept my motivation and my drive going, is I did not want that to happen again. To have that feeling, to have someone take something away from you that I knew I should have had control of, but I didn't do my job, plain and simple. There was no one else to blame. So on that note, as I tell, any of the kids that are watching in here or listening, just you have to leave it all on the mat. No regrets. You go out there, you wrestle each and every match like there's no tomorrow. Because guess what, people? There is no guarantee there is tomorrow. So, as an athlete, as a parent right now, I hug and kiss my kids and I say good night and I love you, because I don't know if I'm going to have it tomorrow. Same thing with wrestling. You leave it all on the mat. Who cares? At the end of the day, if you give 100%, no one can ever fault you. Whether you win or lose, as long as you give 100%. Again, I am truly humbled just to be here. I mean, this is something I love to do, and I've done it for a long time. not so much anymore. But I just can't say thank you enough to everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
I'm going to take a few minutes to close out here before we do our thank yous and just give a simple reminder of how dominant Shawn really was. If you heard before, he was 175-5 in high school. That's 180 matches, 133 pins. That's over 70% of his matches ended in a pin. Now you got to remember, not every match was a wrestle match. There was forfeits, tech falls. But nobody pins their opponent 70% of the time. Nobody. And one thing I really truly remember was the state tournament. After my senior year, Shawn's a year younger than I was, and you're sitting in the stands, and Shawn's coming up, and the people sitting next to you is like, "Hey, there's that kid from Athens. Watch it, he's going to throw him." And you sit there, and you're used to it, but you hear that ooh and that ah when Shawn finally launched the kid, and his feet were sticking straight up in the air, and Shawn had that picture in the paper where he was winking at the cameraman just so perfectly. I think he got poked in the eye, but it looked really nice on the camera. So. And one last thing is, Shawn was a dominant wrestler, but he was an amazing friend. He was always there to help you in practice. He was there at school functions in the summertime. So as great of a wrestler as he was, he's an even better person. So let's give him one more round of applause. Now we want to thank everyone who made this event possible, including the Athens Wrestling Club members and the board, the Athens School District, Athens Wrestling alumni, and all of the inductees, family, and friends. Just a warning, coming up here in a couple of weeks, we have our annual middle school and youth tournament. We need help. That allows us to have functions like this and induct members into the Hall of Fame and keep the youth program going. So anybody that wants to volunteer their time, we're more than happy to take your talents. We need people to clean up. We need people to just help in any general way. Thank you for coming here tonight. It just shows how much Shawn was loved and appreciated with this big crowd. One last thing, we do have wrestling club raffle tickets again. This year the raffle will be drawn the Saturday of our youth tournament, so we have 2 weeks. Sorry for the short notice. That's the 20th of this January. If you purchased a ticket before, find who you bought it from. They will sell you another one. If you don't want one, no harm lost. Thanks once again, everybody, for coming out. Just a reminder, we are an open wrestling club. Anybody that wants to join, any alumni, any fan, just come on. We need people to vote. We need people to help out any way we can. So we'll be posting our meetings on athenswrestling.com, and we have a Facebook page. So once again, thanks for coming out, and let's go watch a hell of a duel tonight.